What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So this is the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. And even though it's not technically called the Z Fold Ultra, it's basically a Z Fold Ultra now. And not only did Samsung add a couple of Ultra features, they also made this phone thinner and lighter, and also bigger and more powerful. Collectively, I think this is the most drastic set of changes ever brought to Samsung's flagship foldable. So first and foremost, since I know you're going to ask, this new Z Fold 7 is still pretty pricey. In fact, it now starts at $1,999 for the 256GB model. There's also a 512GB option and a 1TB configuration as well. That one, by the way, also affords you 16GB of RAM now. The lower storage models have 12 gigs, and you've got 3 standard colors to choose from this year: Blue Shadow, Silver Shadow, and Jet Black, along with a Samsung.com exclusive color option, Mint, which is obviously my favorite and certainly the best color of the bunch. It actually looks even way better in person. It's a really stout mint green shade. Now, if your wallet can handle it and you're all in on foldables, here's what you get with this new Z Fold 7. Right off the bat, the design and form factor has been changed in just about every way you can think of. And what's funny is that even though there are more premium materials similar to the S25 Ultra on this phone now, perhaps that's the first nod to the Ultra comparison, I would actually compare this new Z Fold to the super thin S25 Edge. When folded up, this new Z Fold 7 is now just 8.9mm thick. That's nearly the same thickness as the S25 Ultra. Again, when the Z Fold 7 is folded up. When it's unfolded, the Z Fold 7 is just 4.2mm thick, which is crazy to see and to feel in person. I mean, you don't get a good grasp of its true thinness from a video like this or even a number measurement. You really have to hold it. And when you do, I think you'll be taken aback by just how thin this phone feels now. To at least give you something to think about, the Z Fold 7 is just barely thicker than its USB-C port on the bottom. And it's also light. 215 grams, which is literally lighter than the S25 Ultra. Again, kind of crazy since this is almost 2 phones folded together. However, for as thin as this is now, Samsung didn't sacrifice build quality, and in fact, they beefed things up. It has a restructured Armor Flex hinge, which is thinner and lighter too, thanks to a new design and a new multi-rail structure that reduces that visible foldable crease. In addition, Samsung implemented what they call advanced armor aluminum in the frame of the phone all around and within the hinge housing to increase strength and hardness by 10%. The back glass has also been upgraded to Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which we expected. The outer display is Corning Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2, extra tough while being a lot less glare prone, and a feature we see on the S25 Ultra. And the main inside display has also been redesigned. There's a new titanium plate layer, and the ultra thin glass here is actually 50% thicker. So to no surprise, this is the toughest and most durable Z Fold yet. Size-wise, Samsung also went bigger. The outer cover display is a 6.5-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display. It's primarily wider now with an appropriate 21:9 aspect ratio. And when you flip it open, you get an even bigger 8-inch main display. Also still a dynamic AMOLED 2X display, and a bit brighter too, up to 2600 nits of peak brightness with Vision Booster. Samsung is understandably really proud of both these big screens on the new Z Fold 7, and I actually think that both displays are great for different reasons. The outer display is essentially that familiar smartphone size now, but with such a thin and light form factor of the overall phone, it doesn't feel like you're using a double thick device. Flipped open, the 8-inch main display is really big, and whether you're gaming, multitasking, browsing the web, or doing whatever else, this really gives you a great viewing experience. What's nice about the Z Fold 7's design changes, I think, is just the fact that Samsung refined everything, rather than totally changing things unnecessarily. They made the important stuff bigger and better, while continuing to strengthen and slim down all the unnecessary things, and in the hand, this Z Fold 7 finally feels quite comfortable to use, whether you're holding it folded up or unfolded. So one thing that does kind of make this new Z Fold 7 Ultra is Samsung did add the 200 megapixel main camera on the back, alongside a 10 megapixel 3x telephoto and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, which itself adds autofocus and macro. The main screen camera is a 10 megapixel lens, now with a wider 100-degree selfie, and paired with the upgraded camera hardware, Samsung is utilizing their next-gen Pro Visual engine for images and videos, along with 10-bit HDR, which they say is on by default. And of course, after you snap your shots, you can utilize all things Galaxy AI to edit, erase, and otherwise be assisted with changing those photos. This is probably the most ultra feature of this phone, and I feel like this is something people have been asking for, a sort of evening out of these cameras with the S25 Ultras. Considering this phone's price and its overall specs, this was something that definitely needed to happen. You still don't get the same telephoto lens from the S25 Ultra, but this is a much improved and borderline ultra camera setup that this phone certainly deserves. Samsung, of course, also spent a lot of time talking Galaxy AI with this new Z Fold 7, and I think they're hoping that the big main display enhances that Galaxy AI experience to some degree. A lot of the Galaxy AI features, functions, and apps have been specifically optimized for the big inner screen of this Z Fold 7, and that's what we saw a lot of demoed in Samsung's keynote. Inside, you of course get the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor that's made for Galaxy to power everything. This phone will also be the first to ship with Samsung's One UI 8 and Android 16 updates out of the box, and they're of course committing to 7 years of software updates. So all that money spent now can sort of be spread out over the next few years at least. If you're curious about battery life, there's a 4400 mAh battery spread around inside this phone, which is actually the same as last year. Though one could argue it's sort of impressive to slim this phone down every which way, yet not decrease the battery size or capacity in any way. You also still get 25-watt wired charging, wireless charging 2.0, and reverse charging. And really, the biggest changes to the Z Fold 7 this year, like I mentioned, are that complete redesign or refined physical hardware, the addition of the 200 megapixel ultra camera, and all the Galaxy AI and One UI software enhancements and changes that Samsung feels you'll really get the most out of with a device like this, namely one with an even bigger, massive 8-inch inner display and that really nice sized outer display. The new Z Fold 7 goes on sale July 25th, and pre-orders start today on Samsung.com and various other retailers. I'll leave a couple links down below in the video description if you want to pre-order this yourself or learn a little bit more about it, or if you want to pre-order anything else Samsung announced today too. But what do you guys think about this new Z Fold 7? Are the changes worth the upgrade? Do you wish there was something else that was new or changed instead? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, of course. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video though. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.